Hello, everyone. This is the May 6th free training on QiqoChat. These trainings happen every week. Learn.QiqoChat.com/events. My name's Lucas. I'm the software engineer that put this together. And this will be a very interactive session. I'm recording it so that all the people who attend can go back and refer to it, see anything that they saw. And anybody who can't attend can see this on YouTube. So I will share my screen to give a brief orientation. Please interrupt me at any time during this discussion. I welcome the follow-up questions at the moment that they're most convenient for you. So everybody that is on Zoom now sees this page behind Zoom. So it's on QiqoChat. You can see everybody's in the main room here. You can see people's names if you click on them. And you can see a photo for who they are. They can write a little info about themselves. So Kiko is a social wrapper around Zoom. You have a regular Zoom call, and you don't know much about the people that are on the call, and you don't know anything about the people that are on the call right now until you get in the call. With Kiko, you can have many different Zoom meetings running in parallel, and you could see who is in which Zoom meeting before you even go in there. So on the right-hand side of the page, you see all the notes. You see some people are adding questions that we're going to go through here. And on the left-hand side, you see all the different breakout rooms. This is a default QiqoChat meeting. It comes with a main room, and it comes with 10 breakout rooms. You could have up to 100. And this is right out of the box just when you type in your event and click Save. Then each one of these rooms has a Zoom button up here. So you click Join Video, and then you're going to be prompted by the browser. I'll click it so you could see what that's going to look like. The browser pops up here. It says Zoom wants to open, and you would click Open Zoom. I'm already in Zoom, so I can just click Cancel. And we start the meetings off by just letting people add their names. Anyone can type here, and everyone has already typed their name, and we started the recording right after that. So we have a few questions here, and you're welcome to add more as we go. What is the purpose of QiqoChat? Well, it's to let you as an event planner, an event facilitator, a dialogue facilitator, design the collaborative event that's best for your audience. So we try to make it very plain, and then you add all the color, you add all the complexity or no complexity, and it's completely your choice. If you have people that have been meeting on the platform over and over again, you'll find that you can do more and more advanced events. If it's just folks that are starting out for the very first time, then there's ways that you can make them feel comfortable without adding a lot of complexity. So you've got these notes documents on the right-hand side, and every one of these rooms has its own notes document. So if I click into room 1, then on the right-hand side, I'll see that there's a blank notes document, and I can be typing in there. So I'll go back to the main room, and we'll see the notes on the right-hand side. So there's another advantage of Kiko in that every one of your Zoom meetings is paired with a document. It could be a notes document using Etherpad, which is this open source tool that we use here by default. It could also be a Google document that you've created in Google Drive and you've attached to each one of your events. You can even attach multiple Google documents for one room. So this main room can have multiple tabs across the top. So one can be Google Docs, another can be Google Sheets, another could be a Google presentation. All right, so this is what we call a QiqoChat event. I'm going to back up for a moment and click out here and click Event RSVP page. So when you create an event on QiqoChat, you get a page that looks like this. It's pretty plain. You could change the coloring a bit, and has a big Participate Now button. Here's where people can RSVP. We do that so that you can start to see, oh, there's a bunch of people who are RSVPing. Makes it more likely that other people are going to RSVP also. You get a reminder 3 hours before the event begins if you've RSVP'd and your email address is present. And then once you're here on this RSVP page, it's just simple. You just click Participate Now, and it brings you right into the event. This is where all of us are. On the RSVP page, you have a few more things, such as you could see where everyone is on the map. List view, map view, skills, I'll click map. And you can see where people are joining from. These are the people that are present right now. All right, that's a QiqoChat event, and we're going to go in depth on different configuration options for an event. But I'll also back up one more level. So a QiqoChat event is on a calendar. Well, where does that calendar live? It lives in a circle. So a circle is a group of people, or it's a group, an organization, that has a bunch of shared tools. So this circle is called Learn About QiqoChat. And the people who are in this circle are all the people who have created circles on QiqoChat. So everyone who started their own circle is in this circle. And the point here is we have a calendar that has all the events. We have a member directory. We have places where you could post a blog article or upload a file. We also have a weekly newsletter that goes out, so you can be alerted of any events that are coming up in the next 3 weeks. So Kiko was built around this concept of circles that have shared tools. We'll also discuss what the gardens are. It's essentially a place where you can go 24/7 to connect with anyone else in your circle for a Zoom video chat, very informally, impromptu. I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you, but you'll have it on the recording, and you can also ask any follow-up questions. In about 5-10 minutes, it'll all start connecting. You'll see it all making sense. So again, we're in Learn About Kiko, and that is the circle. The circle has a calendar and a member directory. So let's go into each one. I'm going to open up the calendar and the member directory. So here's the calendar, and it's pretty simple. Just a list of upcoming events going down. Each one of them is a Kiko event. Brings you to the RSVP page that you already saw. There are some other views, like you could put it on a calendar or compact view, but the idea is just a list of events. Anyone can add an event. Well, I can add an event to this circle, and by default, anyone can add an event to a circle. But you could turn that off like I did here, and just the administrators of the circle can add an event. Let's take a look at the member directory. You can see who has joined the circle, and you can search for member profiles here. So this is the concept of a circle. So a circle has many tools. One is a calendar, another is a member directory, a list of blog articles, a newsletter, the gardens. Let me stop there and take any questions about circles. All right, I didn't hear any questions, so I'll keep moving on. How do I invite people to a private circle or an event? So we've talked about circles, and we talked about events. The way that I do it is I copy the link to the event and paste it in an email, or share it on Facebook or Twitter. The neat thing when you're sharing it on Twitter, people can't tell that there's a Zoom meeting behind it, so they're less likely to try to interrupt your meeting. If you're just sharing a Zoom meeting out there on the wide open internet, you might get uninvited visitors. We've had over 1.5 million minutes on Kiko of used of Zoom, haven't had any uninvited visitors disrupting any events. There's some other protections we take to prevent that, and maybe some of the questions will get into security, and we'll definitely address that. So how to invite people? There's no button where you just upload everyone's email address and press send. Instead, you upload everyone's email address to a private circle, and they have access. Once they create a QiqoChat account, that matches that email address. So I'll say that again. You can make a private circle, and you could say, well, how do we make a circle? Let's go down here. It says, create your own circle right here. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, so it's a little easier to read. I'm going to move Zoom out of the way. There we go. Create a new circle of your own. So click here. Here's how you create a circle. It's pretty simple. Just say, oh, New City Chamber of Commerce. And you can put in a description if you want, and we'll say it's newcity.QiqoChat.com. So we have a custom link to our circle. And that's it. Click Create. A circle can be a subcircle of other circles if you want, but it doesn't have to be. Then there's a lot more advanced options that we can get into later. You can click More Options, and you can add sponsors. So maybe sponsors are paying you. You can put them in your circle. You would collect money from sponsors directly. You can charge your members a membership fee. You can create a private circle, and you can assign assistant administrators. So for your private circle, that's where you'd say just people with these 100 email addresses have access. You could
so then, because yeah, I posed that question, and I did indeed enter a bunch of email addresses under the first privacy option. So then that means if I send the link to someone else, the people opening the link, it somehow checks from which email it happened, or how does that, I'm just wondering, how does that security element work?
Okay,
there?
Great question, Yantine. So member access and assistant administrators. I'll click edit. So if you want assistant administrators, I would say Sally 123. That's Sally's name, and Bob 123. Those are their usernames. Now, when they create their Kiko account with those usernames, they have all the power you have as the administrator of your circle, except they cannot delete your circle. So that's the first thing. The second question is how to make a private circle. You can restrict access to members with just specific email addresses. So you click yes, and now only people who have these email addresses will have access to your circle. They have to register on Kiko with that email address. So if they come to QiqoChat and they click sign in with Facebook, but Facebook's connected to their Yahoo account, and you didn't have that, they will see a message that says, your email address with yahoo.com is not on the access list. Please contact the administrator to get on the access list. It's a message like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Clear. So also there was also my other question: what hoops do people have to jump to when they want to join? That also means they do have to register, and if it's a private list, they have to register with the correct email.
That is correct. It is free to create a QiqoChat account. It is free to create a circle on QiqoChat.
Yeah.
The things that you pay for are the live events, so Zoom meetings specifically. So if you create a circle, you will see a message when you go to your calendar or you go to your gardens, both of which have Zoom. It'll say, please enter a credit card and you'll get 1,000 free minutes. And then once you enter your credit card, then you have access to those tools.
Lucas, it's Tony here. I'm sort of used to file management systems with a master folder and subfolders. So what you're saying is when I create, is this true? When I create my account, I'm in the top folder, and these other elements are subfolders on my account. Is that the way this look? Or
yeah, one way you can look at it. I click my name over here. My name has things attached to it. My events, my circles, my event design templates. So your event, your user can create multiple circles.
Right.
And one circle can be for your Chamber of Commerce, another circle could be for your garden club, another circle can be for client 1, another circle for client 2.
Okay, I have another question. Would you talk about the relationship that I have a free Zoom account and now I have this Kiko account? How do these connect or not connect, or what's the relationship there?
Soon they will connect. Right now, you don't need a QiqoChat. You don't need a Zoom account to use Zoom on QiqoChat. Zoom charges us ½ cent a minute per person. We charge you 1 cent per minute per person. We also charge you for a private circle $1 per month per person. If it's a private event, $1 per participant. In the future, hopefully in the next 2 weeks, you will be able to take your existing Zoom account and just use Kiko as an add-on. And what we're looking at is giving people access to Jitsi. So all of your breakout rooms will be with an open source tool called Jitsi. There are some browser limitations, but it's a way to have lots of meetings connected to one Zoom account that you're already paying for. You will pay Kiko for that. We're working on what the price will be. But the most robust experience is the default one that you have right now, where every Zoom meeting that you start can have up to 300 participants, whether you're paying Zoom or not. And then you pay us 1 cent per minute per person. We pay Zoom half of that. Good. A lot of people have been asking about, like, how do we make Kiko just an add-on for existing Zoom accounts? So we're moving in that direction, so people will have that option too.
I'm actually more interested in the other option, the Jitsi option, because of all the privacy issues that there are with Zoom. Will it be very different to use, or when do you expect it to be online?
We're testing the Jitsi option with some folks right now. Let me show you what it looks like. So for folks that are not familiar with Jitsi, it is an open source tool that you put video in the browser. So it's going to take up the full screen, and there would be multiple people here. And underneath, you have the QiqoChat notes and all the breakout rooms. The neat thing is it's quite easy to change breakout rooms when it's just connected to Jitsi. You can also put a picture here that you like. We're using a home theme. So you land on the front porch, you can walk into the hallway, you can walk into the kitchen, you can walk into the living room. So I'll go into the living room. So with one click, you're now in a Jitsi meeting here. See a picture, you see notes. We're also working on making it side by side, so notes are right next to it. So this is in development, it's coming. Did that answer? Great, Yantine, I saw a thumbs up. Okay, let me pause here. Any additional questions? Then we're going to get back to the questions that were on our list. So to invite people to a private circle or event, share the link. Next, how do participants to an event automatically get a different color? And if not, how do you do that? Over here on the right-hand side, it's all managed inside Etherpad. Click on the list of participants and click on your name, and then change the color and click Save. There's my color. So now I'm in orange. Yantine, did we answer the question about, okay, good. Next question, how to get started. So number one, I would say browse our homepage. I would also say, I'm going to move this one up. Take a look at this PDF, which just explains what's on Kiko. I'll open that up so you can see it. It's a marketing document, and it just says why we created it here. And it talks about the gardens, which we'll do and we'll take a look at next. So gardens don't have that notes document. So in a way, it's a little simpler. It talks about how we do facilitated webinars. There's a hackathon that happened, and also workshops and conferences with parallel breakout rooms. So that's about us as a company. And then we have something for trade shows. It talks about circles, and then also talks about exhibit halls and trade shows, which is in development. So that link is there. So how to get started. Next, go ahead and create your own test event on QiqoChat in this demo circle. It's free. Next, create a circle of your own. We'll show the gardens. It's the default tool. I'm going to change this color so it's a little bit easier to read. There's a user guide. We have open office hours. You're in one of the trainings now, but you could just pop in about 3-4 times a week. Just pop in, get your question answered. We don't want you to be struggling with any question, so we try to make ourselves as available as possible. Here's my contact information. You could join a Google group of all the people who have created circles on QiqoChat. There's about 30 people right now, and often they're answering your question before I even get there. And it's international, so it's a lot of different perspectives. If you want to try, if you belong to the if you're a facilitator of liberating structures, you might be interested in this one. If you're a dialogue practitioner, you might be interested in, these are free circles. And there's one for open space facilitators. We're translating QiqoChat into more languages. That should be available soon. We got some other videos down below. All right, so back to our questions. How to use this tool to facilitate a virtual workshop. Okay, At about 11:45, we're also going to be getting into some more in-depth analysis of configuration options in QiqoChat. So the first thing I would say is design your workshop and think about what tools you want people to be using in your workshop. And then chances are you can embed that tool right here on this QiqoChat page. So let's say I had a Google drawing. I think I have an example right here. Example with Post-its. So I create this document in Google Drive, and I make it look a lot better than it does, but you get the idea. These things kind of look like Post-its. Make sure that you share it with anyone who has the link, or you lock it down however you'd like. And I'm going to click that link in the address bar. And I'm also going to close Jitsi. I don't think we need that anymore. I'll close some of these other tabs. And copy that link and go into your event and click Edit. And now you're editing the event. This is the same thing you saw when you created the event. I'm going to click More Options. I can customize the number of breakout spaces. So let's say I want 20 breakout spaces, and I want to add a title for each one. Red room, orange room, yellow room, etc. And if I want to put that Google drawing in, just paste it in here. So if I have another one, I paste it, just paste it, paste it. So these would be all the different breakout spaces get their own link, whatever row you put it on. And I want, so everybody at all these breakout rooms is going to be editing the same Google drawing, but maybe you want them all to have a different one. So in that case, you would create different ones and paste all the links in. And I'm also going to put a blank line here because I want to keep the notes at the main table. So you'll see those notes are not going to get overwritten because we have a blank line. So this drawing is going to be over in the first breakout space.
So the blank line, if it's the third line is the blank line, then the second breakout space has the default note, right?
That's right. This is going to be the main
Excellent.
room. This is going to be space 1, and this is space 2. So you'll just see it's going to happen at every other one.
Perfect.
I'll go all the way down, click Update, and we'll see our event. It still remembers me in Jitsi, so I'm going to refresh the page. So here we are at the main room, and it's still the same notes, but when we go to the next room, and we see we've already got some of our names populating there, click on Orange Room, and then we'll see our document with the Post-its. And people can move it around. Multiple people can be editing it at the same time. And here with dot voting, if you create a bunch of dots for everybody, and you say, please go ahead and grab a dot and identify the most important Post-its. So you might see that some of these Post-its are getting a lot of dots, and that just helps you visually, okay, this is what we should talk about in our summary of our workshop. So any tool that you can think of, you can embed here. There's a few that you can't, it's like Mural and Miro, but you could do at least the basic functionality that you would do in Mural, which is a whiteboarding tool for Post-its. You could do that in Google Drawings. It's not as elegant, but it's free, and you can control access very well through Google. Okay, I'm going to go back to the main room to see what other questions we have. So someone who was talking about that question about how do you facilitate a virtual workshop? Did that answer your question? You have all your different tools. You design you think of the tools, and then you bring them into the QiqoChat by pasting in the link when you edit your event. Did that answer the question? Looks like that was Carolyn who asked, because I could tell in the color of her name. Oh, no. That was green. That was Noelia. Any follow-up questions for that? Okay. So next, is it possible to have the calendar page and not the gardens be the landing page? There's a solution coming in the next 24 hours where the landing page of QiqoChat Circle is going to be pretty simple, and it's not going to be the gardens. People are finding that landing in the gardens is a little misorienting, so that's not going to be that way. Instead, you're going to land on the homepage, and there'll be a link to the gardens, a link to the calendar. And I think that should accomplish everyone's needs. There's also ways to customize your homepage. So I think that if you come back in about 2 days, you'll see that your circle is going to be updated with that setting. And if you don't like it there, then we could definitely customize it.
Great, thanks.
You're very welcome. Next question. Someone remembers that people sometimes lose access when trying to transfer to a different breakout room, and what's the correct action to undertake in that case? So the way I describe it is when you want to go to a different breakout room, you just click orange room, and then it says join video for orange room. You just click join video, and your browser gives you this pop-up. Now this is the point of friction that some people run into. After you click open, I'll do that right now. There's another pop-up that I'm looking at. You can't see it in the Zoom screen share because this pop-up comes from Zoom, but it says, you are already in another meeting. Do you want to leave and join this one? Some people can't see this. So I say, if you don't see the second pop-up and you're stuck in the main room, because you'll still be talking to them. They're still going to be in the main room with you. You should always have someone in the main room that people can go back there, get all their questions answered. So if people don't see the second pop-up, then you just say, okay, close Zoom, and then try it again. And you know that it's going to work for them because they already got into the main room.
So then they just try directly in the room they want to go to. They just re-enter and hit a different breakout, the one they intend to be.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you just come back into Zoom, or just come back here, click orange room, and then join. If you've already closed Zoom, you won't have that problem that we talked about.
Excellent.
So other people might have different problems. Let's say they can't even download Zoom. So they should click help to see their options. If you can't download Zoom, you can call in. And here are some international dial-in numbers. Just enter the meeting ID and the password. If you're coming in through an iPad or tablet, sometimes the Zoom link won't work. You have to enter it manually. That green button just won't work. So that's why you click help and iPad instructions. And then this one people kind of use often too. If the video just doesn't open, then you click here to open in a new tab. And then Zoom will open like this. Just like you're going to a Zoom meeting outside of QiqoChat. How can I say, oh, and to emphasize, as long as you always have somebody in the main room, then people are not going to be too concerned because they're talking to you and you could talk them through it. If you have a big event, for the event we had 345 people last week, we did 4 half-hour sessions where people would just come into the exact space where we're going to have the event, and then they can try it out. And they can see that their video is working, and they can try going from breakout room to breakout room. And this might be a good spot to actually let you try going from breakout room to breakout room. So I'm going to answer one more question, then we can do that. How do we save what is written here? There's a button, this one here on the left. Import, export, and you can save as plain text, some other options there. But you don't have to save it because it exists here even after your meeting. That's another advantage over Zoom. You're always wondering, well, we had the Zoom meeting's over, where'd the notes go? Well, with QiqoChat, the notes are right where they were. And if you have a Google Doc, it's right here. And of course, that Google Doc also lives on Google Drive. So at this point, I'll stop screen sharing and just let you try jumping into the orange room. So these are the steps you'll take. You'll click orange room and then join video. You'll get a pop-up from your browser and you'll click open Zoom. And after you do that, you'll see a second pop-up. If you don't see that second pop-up, then close Zoom and try again. So I'll pause the recording and we'll come back. All right, welcome back, folks. So now these are folks that came for the more advanced questions about designing events. And we're going to get into the new things that have been added to events to help you create more advanced events. First, I want to take a look at an event that concluded last week with 345 participants. IIW 30, Internet Identity Workshop number 30. They had some great big sponsors that you could see here. They had about 250 people. It was a 3-day event, 250 people participating at any given time. And click participate to see the event. So they used a picture of their last in-person event to orient people. So you come to the opening circle and you feel like, okay, this is familiar. And if you haven't participated in any previous open space events, you'd see that, all right, I get the sense that this is a participatory meeting. We're not sitting all already audience style. We're sitting in a more of a town hall format. And in person, they would take a piece of paper, write down their session topic, and post it on that wall back there. And then we did the same process online where they had a Google Doc where they can post their sessions topics and their name of the person who's creating it. And there are a lot of breakout spaces here. So they had something like 9 going on at any given time. They had some demo tables where throughout the 3 days, vendors were taking questions and doing demos of their products. Then some other spaces here for more experimentation. They had a tab here for About Open Space, which just talks about the format of their open space event, where people are able to move between breakout rooms on their own. And there was also an announcements tab here. So people would come back to the opening closing circle to see what new announcements are posted. This is the team that was running the event. It was great to join them for those 3 days. These 2 people, Lisa and Hannah, were in the documentation center. You can see some person actually just joined right now to go just take a look at the notes from last week. So that's a neat thing that you can just go back and find out what was said if you're looking for something that you remember. And Heidi was the facilitator. Lisa was organizing the documentation room. Dunya was in the garden.
Well, Lucas, I have a question. I'm not a member of this organization. If I were to pull this up, could I click on an icon identity and then see what the profile is, what their email or what their skill set or interests are of those individuals? In other words, networking into that membership base.
In this case, it was a private circle, so they made sure that was not possible. You set the private circle by locking it down by email address, or another way is to say only people who are invited by a current member can join. It's the other way to do it. This is the gardens. So you can get to the gardens. Think of it as an outdoor space that also has Zoom. So they had all these different gardens to go to. Each garden has its own Zoom link. And there's no notes here. So it's just a little more free-flowing, impromptu networking. Go to any garden. The page refreshes. You see the sponsors and click Zoom. So there's really nothing to do on the page except join Zoom. And you can see who is there at any time. And you can also set the topic for your garden. So
is this for the same conference or for the same event?
It is the Internet Identity Workshop. So
in other words, but it's not the case where you can have some rooms which are garden and some rooms which are not garden. You have to have like almost like two interfaces. One the garden interface, and the other one is the worksheet interface, whatever you want to call it.
That's a great insight, Francois. You can blend the two also. So
right.
let's go back into
So you-
our event. If we wanted to make all of these gardens,
Yeah.
I would click edit
Yeah.
and then more options. Down at the bottom, which event design template do you want to apply? I'm going to say gardens. That's available for all of you. And then this is going to take a garden photo and apply it to every one of our breakout rooms and our main room.
Right. Okay. So at the moment I thought that my edit template was empty. Are you saying there is at least one in there that's called gardens?
When you go to, you won't be able to edit the gardens. So it's not going to be visible in your list of templates. It'll just be visible when you try to apply the template. When you're over here, edit my event, then it is available, but it's not going to be available under your templates because these are the ones that you created and can edit.
Right. So if I want the gardens as a template, for example, so that I could then use it in an event, how do I get it? Or how do I get to it? Or
it will already be available when you click edit event.
Yeah.
You go to more options and event design templates. It's going to be here in the drop down for you. Also, you can create a new event design template here.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So actually, that's what I said. I was confirming that it's already there, and you said no. So maybe you misunderstood my question. So okay, fine. I understood. I understand.
It's not here.
Oh yeah. No, obviously.
But
not.
It is here.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
Sorry. I was unclear in my question.
Very good. Well, here's some new things that you probably haven't seen under security and permissions. So you can provide guest access. So if you've got a private circle, you can actually let people in for just this one event. There's a simple sign-in page that you can, do you want people to see a simple sign-in page if they haven't signed in yet, or the regular RSVP page? That's your option. You can try both. Do you want to restrict participation in this event by just the people that have specific email addresses?
I do have one question about the sign-in page. Because I will be inviting people to my circle and they will be people that don't have Qiqo accounts yet. So then what is the best place to let them land? Are they prompted to make one on the RSVP page?
They are. Let's take a look at that. I'm going to open up the RSVP page. And I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to open up incognito browsing. I'm already signed in as a test user in this browser. So let me just, so when you arrive, these are your options. Sign in to RSVP or participate as guest. So if I click participate as guest, you could type in a guest username and then you're in.
But if I have my privacy settings on, then they shouldn't do this because they are not matched up with the email.
That's right. And they will see a notice that tells them that. So the next thing it'll say, please enter an email address. And then they enter an email address, it's going to say, please confirm it. Because we want to make sure that those people say they are who they say they are.
Thanks.
And who do you want to be the host of your Zoom meetings? Okay. So you could say only the event creator, the circle administrators, and the people listed below. So you can actually add, Joe can be a host for the Zoom meetings.
This is for all the breakouts.
That is the next question right here. Are they pre-assigned to specific breakouts? So all Zoom hosts can be the host in any room. That's the default, or you could say Zoom hosts are assigned to specific rooms. And if you choose this one, specific rooms, then you'd put, so these two would be, Joe would be in the main room. This would be in the first breakout. And maybe you want Joe in the second breakout, you put him there. So it depends on what you choose here. And you don't have to memorize all this. Click more info and it will explain more info in every section will explain what's going on there.
Right, and these are hosts as opposed to co-hosts.
They will, okay, another great question. When we go back here, if you have been made the ability to be a Zoom host, you're going to see this button says admin controls. And then when you click on it, it'll say join video as host. The first person to click that button will be the host. The next person will be the co-host. The next person will be the co-host.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, now it makes sense.
The person who created your circle or created the event or any assistant administrators in your circle will also have access to these things, such as setting the timer. Timer shows up here.
Great that there is a timer.
And a circle, because we're talking about a circle here, aren't we? No, even an event, if there are several organizers, several hosts of the event, the whole event itself, will they automatically get access to the whole thing, or is there another process there when setting up the event?
I would make them an assistant administrator in your circle, and then they see all of these options.
Right.
And they see the edit button. But you want to be
Right.
careful to make sure two people aren't editing at the same time, because they won't save each other's edits.
Yeah. And yeah, there'll be whoever saves first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, we have some advanced question trainings. Perfect. All right.
Oh, can I just go back?
Of course.
Because we're rather than go on to something new on the previous page. The very first one was who can access the event. I can't remember. You were in edit.
Oh, we're over in edit.
Yeah.
Here.
The very first one, the very top one. Right. So only members of the circle may participate. Right. And so how? No, that's clear. Sorry, I forgot what my question was now. Well, no, I guess. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, we're just going to say this is a circle. If this was just an event, what would this look like?
This is an event.
Right. So what does a circle refer to then if it's just an event? I mean, if it's just an event which is not part of a circle, is what I meant.
Oh, okay. It would look the same.
Right.
So when you have your events inside circles, it gives you the ability to, well, first of all, in a circle, you've got a calendar, you've got the gardens, you've got a newsletter, you've got written conversations and a document library. But if you want to do an event that's not in a circle, you could do that from here. Click on your name and My Events.
Yeah. So if I can ask a question that's directly related to that I bumped into when making the circle. I was just wondering, because I made the circle private. So to get in, people need to register with the right email address. Is it then necessary to also make the event private, or is the access already restricted? And do I not need to do it twice?
And that feeds into Francois's question.
Yeah.
The circle is like the parent and the event is like the child. The child inherits from the parent. So if the circle is private, the event is private.
Thanks.
If the circle is public, the event is public, but the event you can customize the event even more here and say, I also want this one to be private, restricted by email address. You can integrate this event with Eventbrite. Scroll down to see Eventbrite integration. And that's what we did for this large event here, that everyone who registered and paid the organizers on Eventbrite, so organizers collected their money directly from Eventbrite, Eventbrite sends us a message that says, create an account for this new user. And then we create the account, we RSVP the user for this specific event, and then we send an email to that user, which says, please set your password. After they set their password, they have a chance to upload a photo, add information about themselves on their profile if they want to. And after they do that, they click update or save, and they're right into the event. So they land right on the events RSVP page that looks like this. And from there, they click participate. So that's one way to manage access where you don't have to enter everyone's email addresses. Eventbrite will do it. If you want to learn how to do that, click here, more info next to Eventbrite. And please see these instructions. And here are some screenshots for how to set this up. It could take 30, 40 minutes the first time you do it. Step 1, create a circle on QiqoChat. Or if you don't want to create a circle, you just create the event. Step 2, create an event. You know how to do that. And step 3, set up Zapier, which is the tool that connects us to Eventbrite.
Yeah, I've never been comfortable with Zapier.
You will get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gradually, everything is being integrated with Zapier, so I have to learn it.
Okay, let's see.
So, but did I read? Didn't I read somewhere that QiqoChat also has its own registration process, or is it? Or it's under development or something?
Here it is, a fee for members to participate. So if you say it's $20 for people to participate,
right? Oh, right. Okay.
Then we collect the money and we give you whatever,
I see. Okay.
Whatever's extra. So we charge you the regular rate, 1 cent per minute per person.
If it was the other way around through Eventbrite, then you would then send us the invoice for the use, or through the not the through the system, the billing system.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We have some additional questions here. How to call people back from a breakout. Number 1, I would use the timer. Number 2, if you really want to call people back from breakouts and you come in as the host, admin controls and join video as host, then you can do breakouts inside the Zoom meeting. So just like you could do breakouts in Zoom without Kiko, you could do that on Kiko too, right from your Zoom meeting. So you could push people out, pull people back, the same sort of functionality.
Does it work? Shall we try it?
Yes, well, I've got the recording right now. So.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, okay.
It's the same functionality as Zoom breakouts that you normally see.
So it gives an advance warning of how many more seconds.
It's exactly exactly the same. And
all right, okay.
And then what happens at the 0 point? Do people get the pop-up again, and then it's another risk moment, or what happens at the 0?
Yeah,
it's the same function. So when you use Zoom breakouts inside of Zoom, and that's a Zoom meeting that you have here in Kiko, it'll be the same experience you have on Zoom, where they see a countdown and then they're automatically summoned back to the main room.
Cool.
In QiqoChat, when this timer goes down to 0, they just know it's time to go. They have to move themselves.
Okay, great.
If they want to stay, they can stay. That's where they'll be down here. You can also send out a message, admin controls, notify breakout rooms, 5 minutes remaining. And I'll show like this. Across all your breakout rooms. But if they're looking at Zoom and not paying attention to the notes, which sometimes happens, they won't see that. So the worst case scenario is you can go in there and ask them to come back. Or if you have an assistant, just goes through all the rooms and say, come on back.
Right, but contrary to Zoom, you can't force them back.
Yeah.
That's true. When we do integrate with Jitsi and with Whereby, which has video in the browser, you will be able to do that.
Right, okay, yeah.
At this time, it's not.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I think people kind of appreciate not being pushed and pulled.
No, yeah, I'm not suggesting that it should be, I mean, but it's just, yeah, it's because yeah.
Excellent. Okay, next question. Under circle settings, I've edited a custom name and description for the gardens, but they don't appear. I've double checked. Do they reappear in my settings? So they're saved. What is going on? And so, Yantin, I will look at your specific situation. I will show someone how to edit. There's 2 places to edit your gardens. So I will go here to demo.QiqoChat.com/gardens. I'm the administrator of the circle, and any assistant administrators would also see admin controls. So it's same things you could do of notify the breakout rooms or set the topic or assign timer, but we want edit. So we're going to be editing this over here. And I click more options and add a title for each breakout space. This will be, we'll say red garden, green garden, blue garden. And save it. So that's one way to name it there. But I think you're also talking about, so red garden, green garden, blue garden. I'm going to get rid of that in case anybody is wondering. Then the other place where you can edit this, where it says the gardens, you go to edit circle.
Yeah, that's where I've tried it.
All right, edit circle. More options. I believe it's show hide. And there's so many things on the screen, I have to do Command F in a Mac or Control F on a PC. This is where you can turn the gardens
And this is where I put the custom name, the lab, and I've noticed it does appear in the tab in the browser. That's the only place where that name appears.
So let's do that. We'll say the lab, custom description for the gardens. I'll say, so let's see. Here's the lab. So we've changed the name effectively.
So
and
there
also
it works.
up here.
Okay.
And also up here.
And if I click it now, if you click it, yeah, see, that's what I mean. Then it still says Central Garden and not the lab.
And okay, to edit that, Central Garden, then please go here.
Okay, good.
And
thanks.
This is where you'd say the lab.
Yeah,
Got
excellent.
It. Great. All right. I'm going to go back in there to the circle settings. More options, once again, show hide, features and tools, Control F for gardens, and I'll take out the lab. All right.
So just to confirm, all customizations of the page take place in the template. So you have to create a template every time, a new template for a new design. Is that correct?
All right. So we have 3 places to edit, and I could see how it's hard to know the right place all the time. So we've got, you can edit your circle, you can edit your event, and you can edit your event design template. So an event design template is just for getting an event started. I applied the gardens picture to this event. If I edit that template, all of the events that have that template applied will be affected. So if I change this image on the template, if I've got 10 events that have that template applied, all will receive the update. If you have something specific, so think of the template, all it does is really 2 things. It sets which picture you want where. That's the main thing. And it also will set the name of these rooms in your garden. But you can always affect the name of these rooms when you click edit your event. I'll go back to edit your event.
Yeah.
More options. This is where we can, this will definitely overwrite the template. So the more specific thing will always overwrite the more general thing. The event design template is general, so you're going to overwrite the rooms here.
So if I want to create that small garden picture next to the document, the Etherpad document,
This one,
like you've got it here, where do I do that? And I don't want it as a template. I just want it just for a particular page, for example.
In order to get the photos here, you do have to create a template.
Oh, you
So
do
we-
have to create it, right? Okay.
That's right. We cannot upload a photo to an event. We can upload a photo to a template and then apply the template to one or more events. So you're welcome to right click and copy the image. So if you ever need these images, please email me and I'll get you all the links to them. Then you can put them in your own templates and then change the order and swap out any ones that you like. But the garden ones is one that's applied to a lot of different circles.
There's no way to actually store images on the system.
You can do that. So we'll go to our demo circle. It's called Example Community of Practice, demo.QiqoChat.com. This is a free circle. You're welcome to give it a try at any time. Click on Menu. And I don't have the document library here, so I'm going to go turn it on for you. And you could turn this on for your event, for your circle. So this is where you go to Show, Hide, Features, and Tools. And I think it's called Articles. Articles are similar to blog posts and have comments. Members can upload files that they have on their computers or that they find elsewhere on the web. So I will say Enable. It's under Articles. And now in our menu, we've got Articles, Links, and Files. So we'll go here and you can add a new resource. So you can upload a photo here. When you upload the photo, it's not going to apply it to an event. It's just going to store it so other people can see it. I've got example image, open the file. So that's one place where I just needed to store a file somewhere because I needed the link. So this is for advanced events. So here I copy this link and I'm going to go into our event that we have today and I'll click edit. And if you know a little HTML, IMG to insert an image, and then I'm going to make the width equal to 100%. And then SRC, the source of it, is this link. Okay, that's all you need to do to add an image to your event landing, your RSVP page. So I'll copy this and give this to you in the notes for this event. But let's take a look at what that looks like here. All right, so on your landing page, you could put an image for sponsors. And I'm going to go into the event and I will share this with you down here, down at the bottom. Is that clear?
Yeah, thank you. That's brilliant.
You're welcome. Other questions we have here.
And I can then upload those images also directly into an embedded template.
Yes, you can.
And
When you create that,
sorry.
when you create that event template, it asks you to upload the image.
Oh, okay. And you can upload. Oh, so you upload it from the computer or upload it from the link from the.
Upload it from your computer. You click My Event Design Templates, and then create a new one. And you say, this is just your name. So there's the new, and then you say, add a breakout space. Here's the title of the breakout space, the display order. So maybe I want this one to be number 10, and upload the image from my computer.
Right, okay.
If it's wider than it is tall, check that box. It'll make it formatted a little bit better. You can add the photographer's name and website there if you like, and click Save.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
So we've got 8 more minutes. Take any additional questions. I have 2 more that I've seen folks, or a few more. In the setting for one of my events, I create topics for the breakouts. I've set them to be hidden on the RSVP page. However, they do appear on the calendar page. I someone said the same thing the other day, and we're going to remove them from the calendar page too, if you have removed them from the RSVP page. So that's coming. I'd love to be able to have a topic attached to the room so people can see when they're in the session, but only then.
So that's coming,
Yep.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
And when do you expect that to be the case?
Oh, 24 hours. The squeaky
is
wheel
pretty
gets the
efficient.
grease, is the saying. So, Amma, I saw that you're here and you had a question about live stream page with Etherpad underneath and live stream video with full screen. Okay, so Amma, do I have permission to show your event where you're doing the embedding of?
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
Elmer's here as well, but yes, it's okay. Yeah.
Great, Elmer, welcome. Okay.
Hi, yes, you do, completely. Go straight to it.
Great, here's their event. The British Fascist Symposium, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yep.
All right, so if you want to join the event, they also put some new buttons on here, and I will share the way to do that. They asked, like, how do we put a button in there? So there is a way to do that. I'm gonna click join the event, and so you could put Vimeo, so there's an image that they're uploading, and you can put Vimeo in here. Just paste in the link to Vimeo, and it will show. Now, it sounds like maybe full screen is not working, so.
No, the full screen is, oh, I see. There's no
option.
button. Yeah. On the Vimeo, there's no full screen button. That's interesting.
There's a button.
So
which
we
says-
have this, hide breakouts. It's a little bit better.
It was interesting because that was working before. Interestingly, I wonder what's changed.
If someone would really like it to be full screen, they can click open tool in a new window.
I have to go because my son is screaming his head off. But
Thank
all
you, Antine.
questions are answered, and thank you very much.
See you next time.
Right.
So we have open tool above in a new window.
Okay.
I'm not sure why Vimeo doesn't permit full screen here.
Is that code in the where you do the other tabs as well? Is it just if you put is that where it's stored? How to put that live stream is in that code? Is it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have a look at the code. Maybe it's to do with Vimeo. All right, I can probably sort that out.
Yeah, it might be to do with Vimeo.
I will explore if full screen is something that maybe is turned off the way that we did it.
Okay.
What would be helpful is if, well, I think I have all I need from you. I can check that out.
The question that is it okay to go? It's the questions, the issue we've got is this, as I think you know, Lucas, is this question of how we do live chat. And my curiosity, there's two things. Could we put one of your basic pads below that scroll to top so that it appears there like a Google Doc, but not a Google Doc, the basic one, so that people could write questions there underneath the video? That's one thought. And then the other one is that on the agenda items, that the windows for the Google Docs has gotten small. It's gone to the size of basically the similar size. You see, it's gone into a small. It would be nice to have it further down the page, if you see what I mean. So you're not having to scroll so much.
I see.
Anyway, that was the two questions that I had.
Okay. Yep, that change I made for the shrinking for live stream was, I see that it also shrunk this one, so.
Yeah, and in an ideal world, the live stream video image, if you click on the live stream in a minute, I know we're running out of time, that's why I'm speaking fast, excuse me, is you see the top of the video, would be great if it lined up with the top of the Fascist Symposium image on the left, so that it's not quite so crushed up to the top of the number of the agenda items, as it were.
All right, I'll see what I can do. I don't know if I can get all of the things I have to get done before your event this weekend.
It's not this weekend,
Okay.
It's next week, but
I think we got time then.
Okay, okay.
All right, thanks for joining, gentlemen. Additional questions that people might have? How do they do this? They just take the link and paste it in paste in the link. So they said live stream is here, the welcome is there. And if you want to do this multiple tab format, so multiple tabs, click more info and it will explain that when you edit your event. All right, so we thank you everyone for joining today. We've got a lot of links down at the bottom. You're welcome to explore. As I mentioned, Kiko is always evolving based on your feedback and suggestions. So help me make it better with all the, just like you saw here, a bunch of great suggestions for how to improve it. So I'll stop sharing. I'll pause the recording. And just thanking everyone who's watching the recording. You can reach me at lucas@QiqoChat.com. And all these trainings happen at learn.QiqoChat.com/events every week. Okay, until next time.